Hey guys, welcome to your Daily Smash for Wednesday, September 11th, 2024. I'm Rick.
I'm Kelly.
It's 9/11. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. We just finished watching the debate Tuesday night, and we're going to talk about that too. But Kelly is wearing a lovely, what is that, an Afghan?
Well, no, I don't know. I got this lovely card from Bruno, one of our patrons, and he's a really good friend of mine, and he does a lot of our smashes. He does our logos.
He did our logos for Rick and Kelly's show and the Daily Smash.
He had a thing with his dog Percy. He's a rescue. He's an animal person, like we all are. And he's just an awesome, beautiful soul. And I love Bruno very much. I don't know why I'm going to cry, but he's so sweet. So he knows I like old fashions. It's like my favorite drink. And he put, some say you're old fashioned. But I say you're aged to perfection. Happy birthday.
I agree.
Isn't that sweet?
Oh.
So he said, Kelly, I just want to take a moment for recognizing your birthday and to thank you for helping get the word out about Percy and the calendar contest. He raised a total of $2,700 with a rescue raising a total of $23,610.
Wow.
He will be Mr. July.
Oh, yeah.
Count backwards.
All right.
Inside this box, you will find a few local curated items. The 3 crochet apparel pieces are from specifically for you by my best friend of 30 years, Elger Parchment. She is a very talented lady that does this at night to relax. I asked her to create one item using Palm Springs collab palette, which she did, but she also uses created to other pieces. I hope you like them and that you enjoy wearing them. Thank you for being such a cool, great friend, Bruno. So apparently his girlfriend makes these.
Palm Springs colors.
I thank you so much. I just got done working out with my girlfriend.
Oh, wait, the microphone's on there, honey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't know you were going to do that.
Well, I just wanted to kind of show the items.
Okay, well, hold on, because I don't think people can hear you. Okay, so you took one off, and now here's another one.
It's cute.
Oh.
Cute. This is Palm Springs color. Right here. Very, very nice. Very kind of you, Bruno, to do that. And he got me this as well.
What is that?
It's a bracelet and it's a scarf.
Oh. Thanks, Bruno. You're a good man.
You're so sweet and thoughtful and generous. And
your birthday's in 2 weeks.
49 years old.
Damn. Looking good for 49, babe.
So I got Botox today. Can we show a little clip of that Botox?
Sure.
We'll show the thing that I did. My girlfriend, Lori, comes over and she's like, you're not going to believe this. I go, what? She was like, I just got Botox. It was $2,000.
$2,000 for one session.
I had $2,000. I'm bumping up and up and up. I'm like, that's
but you didn't have to pay for yours.
I did not have to pay for mine. And I'm not going to pay for a facelift. I'm going to get a facelift, and I'm going to do a full facelift because everybody that I know that does that little mini facelift at 49 years old, they end up, right? Like, it's like 49 years old, they're like, they do this little, and then they hit 55, and like, okay, now I need a brow lift. I can tell you right now, if I want to go through all that pain, I'm going to go through the whole shebang. And I'm going to get those 11s taken out.
I'm so opposed to this.
I don't want any more Botox.
I am so opposed to this.
I don't want any more Botox.
I know a lot of you agree with me.
Okay, that's like you're putting chemicals in your body.
Okay,
I'm just going to I'm going for the full facelift, and I'm going to take these 11s. I'm going to take those muscles. You can take these muscles out, and you'll never have to get Botox again. And get those chemicals put in your body.
You don't have to get Botox ever. Anyway, you're beautiful, and you don't need a facelift. You're stunning.
Thank you, honey.
That's just my opinion. We just watched the debate, as I mentioned, as probably many of you did as well. And
I think Donald Trump got his ass kicked. Sorry.
We have a difference of opinion on this.
We're yin yang over here. I thought he got his ass kicked.
Okay,
Rick doesn't think so.
That's a bold statement.
I do.
I don't think he did as well as he could have and should have. But I also believe...
She speaks in word salad.
Can I give my analysis?
Okay.
He did not... It was not a level playing field. The questions were tilted in Harris's favor. They focused heavily on issues that might be more important to women, and they gave her an opportunity to be, to be things that made her look good and made Trump look bad, but they didn't challenge her on the stuff that really matters to most Americans, like inflation and the border. They asked her about her economic plan, but they didn't challenge her on the fact that inflation is up over 20%.
Well, Donald Trump didn't have a plan.
No, he does have a plan.
No, he said he did not have a plan.
No, he didn't say that. He does have a plan. He's laid his plan out very succinctly. He just did an address to the Economic Club in New York City last week where he was very clear on his economic plan. He, of course, has an economic plan. You haven't watched the news or seen the stories about his plan, but he has
like rest of the world and most of Americans, and I can tell you, he's like, I'm sorry, I don't have that plan. I'm not I'm not a president right now.
He wasn't talking about the economy. He was talking about something else.
Okay,
when it comes to the economy, when was the economy better?
Listen.
Well, when was the economy better?
He didn't have.
Under Trump or under Harris and Biden?
Well, I think under Trump, yes. I'm talking about a debate on who won. Okay, yeah. I'm not talking about he wasn't. She speaks in word salad most of the time. She can't, like, she's not quick. She was on top of her game. She probably got the questions already before. Yeah. You can see how it was a little tilted on things. Mm-hmm. She had her earrings. It looked like it was probably a microphone fed to her, like someone was speaking to her in there, which I totally get because I would totally do the same thing. But I think that she kicked his ass. Like, I'm sorry. I think she did. And she was speaking to the American people where he didn't. He's a businessman.
Can I say something?
Sure.
He did also speak to the American people when they gave him the opportunity to do that. And I thought he was very effective when he talked about the economy, when he talked about inflation, when he talked about the border crisis, and when he talked about Afghanistan. But again, the moderators did not press Harris on any of those topics. They didn't force her to answer the questions. Right out of the gate, the very first question was, is America better off today than they were 4 years ago? And she completely dodged the first question, and they didn't force her to answer it. Donald Trump, they kept coming back to him, making him answer the question they asked, and they fact-checked him several times and never fact-checked Harris, even though she spoke mistruths and half-truths and deserved to be fact-checked. It was not a level playing field. Okay. But what bothered me was that Kamala Harris had all this concern for these unborn babies and zero concern for the girls and women being raped and murdered by the illegals she allowed into America, and they didn't press her on that either. You're so concerned with the lives of these unborn children. Why aren't you concerned about the lives of U.S. citizens who are being targeted and victimized by illegal immigrants? Never forced her to talk about that, didn't press her on it, and Trump tried to get her to talk about it, and she just condescendingly smiled at him and scoffed at him and put her hand on her chin. She was doing all these things that she clearly practiced to try and diminish him, demean him.
But he didn't come back quick, okay? He could have said, you went to 3 wars. You're spending $89 billion on these wars. This is what's causing inflation. He didn't speak to the American public in a normal fashion of what you are supposed to do and say, you are a fascist, you are a communist, and this is and then all of a sudden now she's changing her tune. She's like, I'm for the police. Mm-hmm. She was a defund the police. And by the way, when I lived in San Francisco for 10 years, when she was there, she said she lived in Oakland. She's from Berkeley. She lived in Berkeley. She never lived in Oakland. Okay, she's a liar. So why didn't he bring that up? There's certain things that he could have came back at her.
Yeah.
Way quicker. I could have went after her. Way better than Donald Trump did. Okay.
I think you're right.
He got his ass kicked.
I felt like I could have done well too. It's a very difficult format, and again, more difficult because it was tilted against him. Let me just say this.
ABC is very liberal.
ABC, they did a study of the last 100 campaign stories and found that ABC's stories on Harris were 100% positive. Every one of them. And the stories about Trump were 93% negative. So what does that tell you? ABC was 100% positive in all their coverage of Kamala Harris and 93% negative on Trump. And by the way, I did my monologue on Tuesday night. I found 20, 30, 40 things about Harris that were worth mentioning that some might say are negative about her. How come ABC couldn't find those or report on them?
Okay, he should have. She had this whole dissertation about how much of a liar he is, that he's a convicted felon, all these things. He could have went right back at her and said, "You're a liar. You're a Marxist."
He did call her a Marxist.
You are Berkeley. Your kid is this. You are for defunding the police. You are for rioting. Mm-hmm. You are the opposite.
And she goes like this.
You are for what happened during COVID. You are about burning statues. You are about rioting,
mm-hmm.
and what about the $900? You can't. She's the one that passed that bill. She's the one in San Francisco. She first-handedly is the reason why there's no business. You go to Union Square in San Francisco, where I lived. It was thriving in early 2000s, late 1990s. Awesome. Well, I love living there. You go there now, it looks like a ghost town. All the businesses are fleeting. They're getting taxed to death. People. I was getting my Botox done today, mm-hmm. and they're like saying everywhere, like all the businesses, everything's slow. Like people are slow. People can't. Groceries are out of control. Mm-hmm. Inflation is insane.
Yeah. You would think that the moderators would have made a point of getting Harris to address that, and they didn't. So
he kept talking about as if Donald Trump was still in office. I would say he didn't come back and say, "I'm not in office. Yeah. You've been in office. You're talking about cleaning up my mess. Let's talk about your mess." He sucked. Sorry.
Well, there you have it. There's Kelly's opinion and my opinion on the debate. More later on the Rick and Kelly show. I do want to, I don't need to talk a lot about 9/11. It is the first chapter in my book, Chasing Catastrophe. I was there that day, worst day of my life. I had to relive it every year when I was at Fox because they would always have me come on and cover the memorial ceremony and talk about reflections of another year gone by. And it's been 23 years, and I guess, memories fade and people move on, and that's, in this case, I guess a good thing as long as we don't forget what happened and don't allow the same mistakes to be repeated. But it was a very, very dark day for this country, a very, very dark series of weeks and months that followed, and it's why I went to Afghanistan and Iraq so many times after the fact, to cover the stories of the men and women who were fighting and trying to catch bin Laden and the people responsible. And it's why I got so mad about the Afghanistan withdrawal, which Trump kept bringing up. And again, the moderators didn't force Harris to address. She dodged it, masterfully dodged it. It was an awful, botched operation.
You know what, though?
Harris is so proud of being the last person in the room.
You know what? I would have said, why are you in Ukraine? You're spending $89 billion. This is what's causing our inflation. I could have done better than him. And I'm a fucking idiot. Okay? Like I am. I could have done a better job than Donald Trump because he didn't explain to the lowest common denominator of the American people, which are complete idiots. Okay? That's the truth. She's talking about. She's not talking. She wasn't talking about policy. All of a sudden, she's flip flopped. She sounds more of a moderate now. Mm-hmm. She doesn't sound like a Marxist because she is for the police. She is for the military.
Well, she says she is, but her values haven't changed. So really, we don't know what she's for. She's full of it.
Okay, well, like Bernie Sanders said, she is
pragmatic.
Pragmatic.
She's saying what she needs to say to get elected. That's what Bernie Sanders said. We told you about We the Studios yesterday, the Blake Reynolds interview, which is on our Rick and Kelly show this week. And Curtis and Kara, who created the network, texted me today, the Tito Ortiz show is dropping this week.
Ooh.
Tito Ortiz, the former heavyweight kickboxing champ.
We met him at my friend's wedding, Alicia Sealegs.
Yeah.
This girl is such a badass. This girl is such a... God, she's built so many restaurants and so many businesses all by herself with zero money. We got to get her on our show.
We should. Back to Tito Ortiz, who...
But anyway, that's how I met her. Like, she's good friends with him.
He was on the council, the city council in Huntington Beach. Now I think he lives in Florida, and they did a fishing show, I think, with him. And his wife's doing a show, too. So anyway, that's on We the Studios, the network. And you can join for $17.76 for the rest of the year at wethestudios.com/Rick and Kelly and watch the Blake Reynolds show, the Tito Ortiz show, and so much more, including one day a show about us.
Well, they just watch us. They
know. This is a show about us.
Yeah.
Someone didn't like my shirt yesterday.
He got that in Italy.
Laughing my ass off, Rick. Where did you get that lovely woman's blouse you're wearing? I got it in the men's section.
At Zara.
It's a European cut, okay? It's an Italian shirt for men. Out of the men's section. It's in a men's size.
I don't know. What's coming next? Is it going to be, is your name going to be Rochelle?
Definitely not.
Am I going to be a Kris Kardashian all of a sudden?
Definitely not.
Huh?
Someone else said, I was wondering the same thing. I think that the buttons are on the correct side for a man's shirt, but the cut and collar does look like a woman's blouse. I'm sure that Rick is going to have a great sense of humor about this.
He did.
I'm laughing. I'm sure you've worn a thing or two that you decided didn't look that good and you never wore it again.
Wait, can I just show you this picture of Tamra's outfit, what it's supposed to look like? I sent it to you.
Yeah, sure. Here it is.
So Tamra wore this Valentino. My friend Asia Jones bought this Valentino outfit. And our friend Gina Smith, she sells a bunch of knockoff stuff. It's pretty good. Like, she sells all this, and everybody in Newport Beach, they shop with her. They're rich as hell. These women are loaded, and everyone goes to my girlfriend Gina Smith, and they shop with her. And she I don't know where she gets her stuff from, but you can get like Fendi dresses, you can get YSL purses, you can get so many like cute outfits from her.
Yeah.
And so my girlfriend goes, "Is that from Gina Smith's collection?" Tamra, because everyone shops with Gina.
Yeah.
And it was called, it wasn't Valentino, it was Fabatino or something like that she put. But this is the way you're supposed to wear that Valentino.
Okay.
Did you get that outfit? I want to show that.
I'll show it right here.
Okay.
So Tamra wore it wrong?
Yeah. She wore it wrong.
I have another comment. Got to agree with you on what you said today about Yontef. I deleted him last week. I can't with the squeaky voice anymore. The high-pitched screams, the constant asking for money for private viewers' parties, and for him to teach you to monetize your channel. The greed is off the scale. Feckin' hobo.
Oh, he said that I don't know how to effectively make money on our channel.
That's what Yontef said?
Yeah.
Okay, pal. We're doing fine over here. I don't know what you're talking about. How do you know how much money we make?
That's what a pompous.
How do you know?
asshole thing to say. Because we listened to him yesterday, and it was all ads, and we were actually we were kind of impressed by it. By the way, he has 63,000 viewers.
Oh, subscribers?
No, 63,000 on Instagram. Like, he doesn't have a big following at all.
63,000 subscribers on followers.
I haven't bought one. I could swear to you, never bought one follower in my entire life. Never bought any engagements. I know a lot of people that have. This guy probably has. He has Fiji water supporting him. I don't know how. Who's listening to this moron?
I don't know.
And that chick that's with him is equally as dumb as him.
That's enough talking about him.
Well, you brought up the message.
Yeah. Well, you sent it to me.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Christine wrote, the reason Paris eggs are unrefrigerated is because there is a protective membrane that is on the egg after the egg is laid. Once that membrane is washed, you have to refrigerate the egg. Unwashed eggs can last on the countertop for weeks.
Wow. Because I went to Paris and I put on my Instagram story and I said, why do we refrigerate eggs? And in Paris, they're sitting on the counter in no refrigeration.
So they don't.
And they're orange. And my mom and my grandma were cattle ranchers, and it is all about the feed. If you feed the animal and you process the animal, it's like, my cousin Tony goes, the only thing about Puerto Vallarta I don't like is the sushi. I'm like, why would you eat sushi from those waters that are disgusting? You can't even go in there. Like, you get dysentery. Like, it's disgusting.
They put sewage right into the ocean.
Right into the ocean. You can't even go into the ocean
That's a very good point.
So I'm going to eat the fish. He's like, well, it doesn't matter once you cook it. I'm like, you said the sushi is not cooked. like, what are you talking about?
That's hilarious.
Like, you're ingesting that. And the same thing with animal products. It's all about the feed. It's all about how the animal's treated, and how the animal is treated goes into your body. Same as fish.
Okay, good point.
So,
in the news now.
In the news.
It's a very, very small item because we're almost out of time.
Yeah.
There will be a second debate, apparently.
Okay. Well, I hope I hope it's with Fox News or Newsmax or
with an organization that will actually force Harris to answer tough questions.
Yeah.
Because she just keeps getting a free pass. She keeps getting a free ride. No news conferences.
Actually, she did better than I ever would have expected.
Oh, me too.
And I'm being completely neutral here. I'm like the news over here. I just want to keep things fair and balanced.
You're like the news used to be.
Yeah.
But I agree. She did very well, unexpectedly well. But again, I believe she had a very big helping hand from the moderators, from the network. And not for nothing, she's best friends with one of the top 2 executives at ABC. So there's a very good chance that she did get a little heads up on some of the stuff that was coming her way.
I'm sure she did. I'm sorry. I don't think she could have kicked my ass if I was practicing. If I was practicing and I sat there day in, day out, and I was learning about all this stuff, and I would have pressured her more on being a socialist, a Marxist, more about defunding the police, letting crime happening, more about look at San Francisco, her running mate Walls, who's a complete and utter Marxist.
Right.
I would have put more pressure and talked about that more.
You're so right. You're so right.
Than
Why
her
not?
bullshit stuff. Like, you talk about policy.
Yeah.
That's what you talk about.
Why didn't they force her to admit that she did support an organization that was raising money for people locked up who were rioting and burning buildings in Minneapolis?
Yeah.
She did that. She did support defunding the police. She said it herself. She put out statements about defunding the police, about ICE, defunding ICE, and comparing them to KKK. She's the one who said she wanted to give free sex change operations to illegal migrants.
It's true.
Who sneak into this country, give them free sex change operations, along with federal prisoners who rape and murder people. Give them free cosmetic surgery. Like, you have to force her to address these things that she said she believed in and supported, especially when she says her values haven't changed. But they didn't really successfully do that.
You have to speak to the lowest common denominator when you're speaking to American people.
Yeah.
And she did a great job of it. He didn't do that great of a job. Well, we want, as middle-class Americans, we want to be assured that we have, a retirement, that we're paying all these taxes. Why is it that how come we're not being compensated? Everything should be fair. Things are not fair. I don't feel like we are.
Well, what bothers me more than that,
fair.
What bothers me more than that is that they want to give stuff away to people who never paid taxes,
who
are here illegally, who haven't earned free stuff in America, and they're just giving it to them, which makes no sense to me, especially when we have so many people who are suffering here.
Yes.
Seniors, veterans.
Seniors.
Our own homeless people.
We have seniors that have worked. These seniors right now, the 60, 70, 80-year-olds right now, we should be taking care of them. We should not be going to war in Ukraine. We should be taking care of our military people. We should be taking care of our elderly. We should be taking care of our school children. We should be paying teachers that are going to help. We should be helping firefighters. We should be helping police. We should be helping our community.
I agree. That's our Daily Smash for this day. It's been an eventful day, and we appreciate you being here, and we're going to have another show tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.